to present our analysis of the issue your firm faces with the recent EPA decree and your decision going forward. Some quick background. Your company, Cummins, is now the largest independent heavy-duty engine manufacturer worldwide. A recent consent decree between the EPA, Department of Justice, and manufacturers, including your company, established that by October 2002, a new nitrogen oxide emission standard of 2.5 grams per brake horsepower hour will be implemented. Now, this constitutes a pull forward of the previous date of January 2004 by 15 months. Your customers and competitors are pressuring Cummins to stick with the original deadline of January 2004, continue producing the current, more fuel-efficient motors, and pay a non-conformance penalty. Now, we've analyzed your vision. The long-term goal is making people's lives better by unleashing the power of Cummins. The emphasis here is on helping people through their innovative products rather than simply making profits. Future actions should be motivated by their relative benefit to all stakeholders involved, rather than focusing on monetary impact. Therefore, following the consent decree aligns with your vision of improving lives, given the potential negative environmental and health effects that delaying the new standards would entail.
Cummins has 5 mission statements to help them achieve their vision. The first is to motivate people to act like owners working together, which means they are trying to empower employees and they don't want to look down upon them. They want them to be motivated in the business's overall success rather than just doing their job. They also take a focus on customers and they want to exceed expectations by always being the first to market with the best products, again showing a focus on innovation and being ahead of competitors. They also focus on actually partnering with their customers to make sure they succeed and ensuring that they're satisfied with the product. They also demand that everything they do leads to a cleaner, healthier, and safer environment, which shows that they will not be willing to sacrifice the environment to increase profits. It shows that ethics do matter to this company. And finally, Cummins takes a focus on creating wealth for all stakeholders. So this means all people who have a stake in the firm, not just shareholders. And it means that they won't just be focused on helping the owners of the firm, but anyone that has a stake in operations. Moving on to their values. These are integrity, innovation, delivering superior results, diversity, corporate responsibility, and global involvement. And they want these principles in place regardless of the company's financial condition or the market. And new products may cost more to customers. However, this is a trade-off with their vision of making people's lives better, and in the end, it is worth it. Delaying the new standard compliance does not benefit anyone. It just saves money in the short run.
We have identified the key stakeholders for Cummins. So the first one is the Environmental Protection Agency, which is setting the standards. The EPA alleged that engines using the fuel injection timing strategies emitted excess nitrogen oxide, so in turn, it required manufacturers to implement a new nitrogen oxide emission standard 15 months earlier than the original date. The EPA is for this consent decree because they are concerned with the problems that the nitrogen oxide emissions could have on people's health and the environment. In early 2002, competitors started pressuring Cummins to not follow the consent decree deadline and instead to accept a significant non-conformance penalty. So competitors like Caterpillar, Detroit Diesel, and though less politically active, Volvo and Mack are all against the consent decree for several reasons. Caterpillar is not able to meet the NOx standard on time and needs another year to refine its technology. Lobbying efforts by Caterpillar, Detroit Diesel, and many large fleet owners accused that the technology was not available, forcing the fleets to purchase new technology would have a serious financial impact on the industry. And lastly, customers. Customers have mixed feelings about the consent decree. Some customers have made the decision to convert their fleet to the new EGR engine design, while other customers have warned Cummins that if they went ahead with the EGR technology, they would not buy from Cummins. Customers operating thousands of trucks like Walmart would have a significant financial impact due to the fuel economy loss and truck price increase of the new NGR engine design. The American Trucking Association, which consisted of 345 truck fleets, also lobbied to delay the emission regulations, stating that the new engines were untested, unproven, and posed a threat to the industry's ability to continue to move freight.
Environmental groups and state air pollution regulators are for the EPA consent decree. Caterpillar and the American Trucking Associations are known for the villains of the month and the axle of evil, as they are against the consent decree, which the environmental groups are not happy with. They want Cummins to agree with the consent, as this movement leads to lower emissions. Nitrogen oxides can cause or contribute to a variety of health problems and adverse environmental impacts, such as grounded level ozone, acid rain, global warming, water quality deterioration, and visual impairment. Affected populations include children and people with lung diseases such as asthma. Exposure to these conditions can cause damage to lung tissue for people who work or exercise outside. There are some mixed feelings from the shareholders and employees. Tim Soso is for the EPA's consent decree, as he wants Cummins to do the right thing. His commitment to do the right thing demands that they will be willing to enforce all aspects of the Cummins Code of Business Conduct. When he established a new mission, vision, and value statement for the company, he emphasized that integrity was paramount to becoming the way Cummins conducted business with all its stakeholders, employees, suppliers, customers, and governments. He also insisted in a performance-driven culture at Cummins. He commented that words not supported by actions, however, are meaningless, suggesting that they stay true to their values. Jeff Jones is against the EPA's consent decree, as he wants to ensure that Cummins does not lose its customers from the decision they make. The EGR made fuel economy worse. This is an enormous increase in operating cost. With these significant costs, they may lose customers. There is also a huge concern for truck fleet customers if the EGR product will be ready for launch.
So the total cost and ownership increases are displayed here. As you can see, there's an incremental increase in the purchase price of the trucks of $3,500. There's an incremental increase in the operating costs of the trucks. This $22,230 is composed of $460 in maintenance and $370 in warranty repairs, which will occur 3 times, and $220 in truck inoperable costs, aka demurrage. Fuel costs will increase approximately 4% for Cummins over the 5 years and 1.5% for Caterpillar. This amounts to, at $3.50 a gallon, $2,800 increase for Cummins and $1,050 increase for Cat. The total 1-year increase for Cummins will be $8,530, while Caterpillar will only experience a $1,050 increase. So the total cost of ownership over 5 years will increase by $28,650 for Cummins, where Cat will only experience a $5,250 increase, which is solely a result of the fuel increase. So the financial impact of the non-compliance for each company will be as such. The penalty for Cummins, if they do implement the EGR, is 0. If they do not implement the EGR, there will be a total cost of $127 million, which is a lot. CAT will experience a $154 million increase in their penalties as a result of having no EGR in their bridge engine as well. Overall, there will be a cost of ownership increase of $1.2 billion for those in Cummins, and there will be an increase of $183 million for those who buy Cat engines.
So Cummins has 2 alternatives. The first is to follow the consent decree. Following the consent decree will adhere to their corporate values of integrity and doing the right thing. Cummins has already told EPA that they are expected to meet the pull-forward standards on time. They have already invested time and financial resources to developing compliant technology. The manufacturing plants are already beginning to change over to the new design, and they are far along in their development and testing. Also, the suppliers are prepared to provide their new parts. Some customers have already made the decision to convert their fleet to the new engine design. So the next alternative is to not follow the consent decree. Competitors and customers have been pressuring Cummins to join in the movement to seek a delay in the EPA consent decree deadline. They will have more time to develop the technology and perhaps gain the trust of its customers by providing more reliable technology. Cummins will also have time to develop a plan to cope with the non-compliance penalty costs. Cummins customers will not face the consequences of significantly increased total cost of ownership. However, there will be a slight increase in prices due to the penalties imposed. If they do not comply now, there is the future possibility that the penalties could increase in severity over time. So this is only a short-term solution in terms of cost savings.
Based on our analysis of the two alternatives available to you, we recommend that Cummins choose to follow and comply with the consent decree. This alternative is a better fit in terms of aligning with your mission and values, and will also provide greater long-term results for your sales and image as a socially responsible corporation. There have already been significant investments made to begin developing the EGR technology, and electing to forego this time and money already spent will only create further costs for Cummins in the long term. Tim has insisted on sticking to the vision, mission, and values he has developed, and by following the consent decree, Cummins is sticking to its core principles of integrity and following the corporate code of business conduct. In the short term, the costs of following the decree and developing the EGR engine will cost Cummins customers an additional $7,500 in the first year and approximately an extra $23,000 over 5 years. While these are significant short-term costs, Cummins has customer loyalty and is a trusted brand name in heavy-duty diesel engines. We believe that while this increase in cost of ownership may drive away some customers, it is a better decision for our company in the long term. Not complying with the decree will have a negative effect on Cummins' reputation, as NGO groups such as the Clean Air Trust are publishing press releases shaming companies like Caterpillar for avoiding their responsibilities to the environment and stakeholders in the interest of profits. Overall, following the consent decree will have negative short-term effects with respect to customer ownership costs, but in the long term, we believe that this decision will give Cummins an early adopter advantage. Complying early on will give us a head start on further developing the EGR technology so that we can provide reduced ownership costs for our customers as soon as possible.